one day.
Yeah. It's a much better system, if you ask me, because on YouTube you have to like click buttons in multiple times just to have it open up and go live. So,
Yeesh, yeah, gross.
all right, that is behind everything else. So let me bring that layer up. Stream avatars. Boop 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 boop. There we go. It is officially open. We're going to wait for a few people to come in. Hello, Nayland and JJ Gang, who's been hanging out for a while. Guess what? What is it? You need to tell us now. You need to tell me. I'm on the edge of my seat. I think I actually need to move my avatar further back away from the edge of my seat. That is a good reminder. There we go. Head slightly above. I'm trying to go for like the Morpheus position when it comes to this chair. At a certain point, I'm gonna figure out how to just like to place all the things on the set so I can move around. But I've progressively added more layers so that A, I'm behind the desk, and B, now the guests are behind the desk. So it all works out. All right, Raina, hello. It's finally time. Yes, it is. Mason the Weirdo, welcome in. I'm sorry for the missing lead the stream. Oh, the live streams. Sophie, hi. Zoe, Pineapple Head VA, hello. Big fan, welcome back. Everyone, thank you very much for showing up. This is the Friendly Experience Podcast, the number one ASMR podcast on YouTube. You cannot convince me otherwise. With me today it's Esme Jones from Reddit, of Reddit royalty, Reddit fame, and creator of the Talking Tales subreddit, if I am correct.
Hi, everyone. Yep, Talking Tall Tales, the Triple T. It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me, UTC.
It is a pleasure. All right, to get started, how long have you been on Reddit?
Well, it's been about 3 years now from an ASMR standpoint. It's been a lot longer for that on another account where I was doing some other writing, but we're just gonna say 3 years.
So, what other writing would you be talking about? It's like, this is like fan fiction. Is there a dark history with Esme Jones fan fiction, and is it Star Trek related?
It's not Star Trek related, but I can
Mm,
confirm that
mm.
I've written an entire Terraria fan fiction that's novel length, so at me if you wish to.
The little pixel dudes, right? Like I could never like get past the first level of Terraria, just like gathering resources and stuff like that. I was never that good at it. But there, you have created an entire like not just physical world in the game, but like a fictional world as well. Is it just like goofing off with your friends kind of fan fiction, or is there like named characters from the game? It does the eyeball make an appearance?
Eyeball does make an appearance. I have lovingly named him Steve. There are characters, they're just the NPCs with their usual line. It was 100% me just being like, this game doesn't really have lore. I'm gonna make up some lore because I have nothing better to do. So I did.
But now you have so much to do. You must be a busy person, right? I think once outlined on X the average schedule, and I believe there was like a good half hour devoted towards the art of fighting. Correct?
Yes, battle choreography is really important to me, but like in my writing and everything, and just it's something that's important to me in general because it's not always the best in Hollywood. And I'm always gonna be that guy where it's like, you're not swinging that sword that fast. That's a 72-inch sword. You're not swinging it that fast. You can't convince me otherwise."
Really? There's this guy I saw on TikTok the other day that's been working out with the Buster Sword. And apparently he teaches classes. Have you seen? Oh, I don't know if you have TikTok. The second that I found out it was going to be banned, I instantly downloaded the app because I was like, what is this? What is so scary about these kids that just has to go?" And one of the things I saw was a guy who works out with an honest to God Buster Sword, like swings it around his head, and he teaches classes on how to do this. I don't know the length of a Buster Sword though, and maybe it's like 63 inches and 70. That extra bit on the end is what really gets you.
It's usually like 40 to 50 plus, yeah, and you can be fast with it, but the muscle that you would have to develop would have to be like an actual medieval knights level of, yeah, I'm just going to have this big thing that I whip around wildly because I'm scared.
Yeah.
But it's possible, it's just difficult.
In the terms of battle choreography, like spears beat out swords every time, right? That this is what I've heard.
If you asked actual Miyamoto Musashi, yes, yes, they do. The long spear will always trump just because of the range.
Hold on a second. My tracking is really off. My next question is actually, I had a question that was posed several actually from the people at home. Let me pull that up real quick because we had some from, what was it, a community post. Here we go. Ba, 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 ba. And
I
then
love
while
watching the
I,
little dudes run around. It's so cute.
yeah,
I'm
they're
just like,
very,
hello, little people. You're so adorable.
they're very customizable. What motivated you to start script writing?
Well, my fiance, basically. I basically got like the YouTube algorithm sending me like some videos a few years back, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll listen to a few of them. I've never heard of this before. And after enough, I sent one to my fiance, and I was like, this is a really interesting medium, huh? And he was like, yeah, you could totally write in this. And I was like, oh. And then I wrote Daisy Part 1, and yeah, I guess the rest is just kind of history.
So, who was the YouTube algorithm started feeding you like ASMR suggestions? I spent an entire stream trying to luck my way into that via YouTube Shorts. But what were you watching that like the YouTube algorithm said to you? It's like this is geared towards you.
I don't know, because I don't really like when I go on YouTube, it's mostly just for like music and memes. And then like one of Zan's videos just popped up and it was like, oh, haha, the like this guy's twin brother like has a crush on you and everything. And I was like, interesting, interesting. And then I
So,
put my headphones on.
did you listen all the way through?
I did. And I was like, oh, I really kind of actually want to know what happens here, damn it. And that's why I got his Patreon.
Wow, you jumped your first video. Oh my, this might be the most interesting thing I have heard all day. His first video sold you on his Patreon. You had never experienced ASMR roleplay up until that point, and from his first video, you were already signed up.
Pretty much. Like, it wasn't his first video, but it was the first one I personally encountered. And it did that thing where it's like, oh, you won't know what happens if unless you sign up for Patreon. And I'm like, I know what happens theoretically, but I want to hear it from this guy's mouth.
Oh, it was that kind. Yeah, I could see. It wasn't like a story based cliffhanger. It was a spicy based cliffhanger. I got
Little
you.
column A, little column B. Like, it was mostly spicy, but it was like, but the healthy relationship, is it happening or no? Tell me. Tell me, gosh dang you.
This is really impressive because you follow up with the fact that you had signed up to the Patreon to hear that side, and then you went to tell your partner. Like there was like zero, like you came into it on the ground floor, and for me, like I feel so much uh reservation and telling others, that's like, oh, this is what I do online. But you heard it, you signed up for a Patreon, and then you immediately told your partner. That is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I fully believe that if you follow your voice, like if you find your voice, that should always be the most important thing in your journey. But if you are working on finding it and everything, there's really no time to worry about anything being cringe or anything like that. It's like, just go and enjoy it. And my fiance are both kind of people that are like, oh, yeah, this could be something. Why the heck not? In fact, I think he's hanging out in chat if you are. Hi, Sam.
Oh, cool. Hello out there. Yeah. Someone had said that you have a bunch of mental health audios. So this has always been a question for me because you have, God, you said over 1,000 scripts currently,
Mhm.
correct? And this
Yep.
is like individual scripts. They're not like this one's safe for work, the other one's not safe for work.
Pretty much, yeah. Like they're all separated by safe for work and NSFWs.
How are you able to come up with so many ideas? So this is like 1,000 separate ideas, basically. Like, if someone was brainstorming, they would say, take 1,000 ideas, cut it down, and until you found this many. So like the 1,000 that you've gone with means that there's like tens of thousands that you've rejected, right?
Basically, or just kind of set off to the side for another time and everything. I honestly just kind of use the three cat method, which I don't really know if that's a popular thing or not, but it's, like spark, genre, follow up. So say like something sparked your interest, like you saw something really cool and it just gave you shivers up your spine.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the next thing it's like, well, it's ASMR. So that's a dialogue heavy medium. So I need to frame this via dialogue more than settings, exposition, etc. And then follow up is just go for it, make it work. Just experiment and have fun. That's it.
So of the three steps, one of them is just right. Like the third one is just like you gotta put pen to paper, or in your case, it's a typewriter, right?
It's a full form synthesizer, but yes, you do have to put in the work. Like a lot of people do the post where it's like, can I get good at writing if I don't read, if I don't do this? And it's like, maybe, but you still gotta actually sit down and write.
When you say synthesizer, is that what? Can you describe to me what a synthesizer in the form of a typewriter is?
Well, I'm actually just being like a literal MIDI synthesizer. I've been developing a writing technique recently that calls for music more than anything, and I kind of use it to plot out the cadence, which I know sounds weird as heck, but you guys knew what to expect from me.
I feel like you're burying the lead here. So, is it that you're composing music before like you're typing something down, or is it that each letter has a note associated with it?
It's more of a like cadence, like in rap music how there's that like beat that follows behind it and everything, and when they wind up for an insult or a bar, it has a certain cadence to it. It hits harder.
Mm-hmm.
It's that just musically charting it beforehand and then being like, okay, so I want this to be soft, soft, hard hit, and then kind of even out after. Actually use it a lot for the argument scripts that I write. That's what gives them their punch, usually.
That's incredible. Do you save any of these? And like,
Uh,
you have to, right, to listen back to them, or are you just charting it out, like you're writing it down, and then you go from there?
I just kind of write it down. I don't think I have anything saved, to be honest. Like, I voice act a lot of the scripts out first, too, and then I just delete those because I'm not a great voice actor.
No, no, you come on.
No, I'm
That's
not.
gotta be gold. Okay, first of all, if you've like voice acted 1,000 scripts, you have to be like just first of all an excellent reader. Second of all, like that is still much better, leagues better than someone that like can't stand the sound of their own voice.
Eh, I don't know. Maybe I'll get to the point where I'm more bold and I'll post them and everything. It's just I don't know. I still have my things where I'm like, oh no, the cringe, even though I'm far too old to be caring about cringe, and none of you should care about cringe either. Cringe is just being earnest, and that's okay.
Exactly. But now I am super curious. Like I am so enthralled with this idea that like one day you'll have a post that has not only the read done by you, but also like the musical cadence with it. That is that I didn't out of all the ways I thought that this evening would go, I did not think that this is what I would find out. And I am blown away. Like you do like a mini soundtrack to these.
Try to. I'm not very musically adjusted either, but I do my best. It's just, it's just finding ways to kind of help yourself stay accountable and get into it. Because tricking yourself into like having fun is half the battle. Lol, Lamau, 80s, 90s quotes.
Yeah. Speaking of 90s, I heard you on your own podcast last year talk about 90s television and I guess the cartoons was what you were talking more about then. But like what kind of 90s cartoons inspired you?
I got a lot of inspiration from the action shows like Gargoyles. I freaking loved Samurai Jack. I loved, even though that was 90s, 2000s-ish,
Hmm.
Powerpuff Girls. I loved. I will say, I think honestly the biggest inspiration for me, though, funnily enough, is probably Hey Arnold, because it was the first show I ever watched that taught me how to both write and have those quiet moments of reflection and everything, which you still don't really see a whole lot of, even in today, like in different medium today, which sucks because it's a really good thing to know how to do, I feel.
Yeah, the Hey Arnold was like something I'll see come up as people dissect it, especially the different types of characters. Like, was it Helga's mom is famously a drunk, and the way
Hmm.
she's portrayed, or one of the families is like refugees from, I believe, like Vietnam or something.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Wynn. Yeah, lovely
Yeah,
character.
yeah, I do remember the movie, and I remember the fact that like the kid had like a football-sized head, but yeah, it's you can't get the quiet moments anymore is why like you get the what is it, people playing Subway Surfers at the bottom of YouTube short to keep people interested. It's just there's not enough time for quiet moments these days.
Yeah, plus it was one of the few shows that actually portrayed city life. Like, suburban life was so prevalently displayed in those shows. You never really just got to be like, oh, that looks like Seattle or New York or Chicago. That's really cool. And, now that I live in one of those big cities, I'm like, oh, this is 100% exactly how it was like in Hey Arnold, except modern, and I don't like it as much, but fair.
Yeah. But speaking of the quiet moments, in your writing you deal with the silent listener. It is, the person that is unable to, or if, you know, given time, just like can't verbally express, what they want. They have to do it either through actions portrayed, either by the VA or sometimes sound effects or where they are placed in the environment at the time. And I was curious, like, what steps you take to portray the listener in that you feel like sets you apart from other writers.
Well, I don't know how much it sets me apart, but I will say that I treat the listener and the scenery around them as two separate characters. So when I can't rely on the listener to react or, like subsequently get the exposition out in one way or another, that's usually when I rely on the scenery and everything, where I use sound effects and everything to kind of convey the mood more so than anything. At the end of the day, the listener is, at least to me, they're another character. Like, they're the audience in a sense and everything. And you're kind of the ride conductor at Universal Studios making, like, the twister attraction happen around them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the best explanation, but honestly, if you can't rely on, like, a talking character, rely on the scenery. It will serve you well every single time.
It's true, but like a lot of the sound effects are optional. Does it like okay, so this will bring it into the interpretation portion, right? Because everything that you write is still up to interpretation when it is performed. And with over 1,000 scripts and I assume at this point thousands of performances, is it does it like disappoint you when someone doesn't do the sound effects? Like I've seen some writers even go as far as to include links to files to sound effects.
It doesn't disappoint me, not in the slightest, because honestly, at the end of the day, my whole thing is I'm here to hopefully help the community out. And if sound effects are just not like a thing that you have time or patience to do, I totally get it. I mean, I would love to start including sound effects if folks have like sites that are vetted and everything. I'm happy to put in that additional work, but I also want these to be flexible enough that anybody can make them their own, you know? Where
Yeah.
it's not just, oh yeah, that's an Esme Jones script, all right, and yes, I know I get that all the time, but you you get what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I use freesound.org, which is they allow you to sort by Creative Commons, which is free uncredited audios. Like you can go into the weeds and you can credit everything if you want. Personally, doing 2 videos a week, I anywhere I can cut corners and just reclaim time for my sanity, I will. So that's the website that I use. I'm not saying that you should start upping your game or anything like that. It's just, you mentioned a website. I I bought this sound effects pack that I thought was gonna be like my big replacement for it. It was $25 and 50 GB, and it turns out that like all their car sounds are electric cars, and I was like, oh come on. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's it's not it. It's definitely a skill in and of itself of sourcing things, and but these things like creative endeavors require a lot of different skills, and it's always interesting to see when people take on new responsibilities. Like you created Talking Tall Tales. Is that the correct subreddit?
Yep. You can just call it T3 though. That's kind of our colloquial name for it.
That may be, but it'll make it much harder for people to find when they're trying to type it in.
True.
So, as the creator of r/ Talking Tall Tales, what was the impetus for starting something different from ASMR Script Haven?
You know, it was kind of a two-part deal. Like the first part of it was just a lot of people weren't really happy with ASMR Script Haven anymore. And, you know, with the person, or as a person that kind of has the expertise, or has friends that have the expertise to set something up, we kind of figured, why not? Why not make a space for people? And on the other side, there is kind of a business in the process that we're working on. Can't reveal
Oh,
too much, but it'll kind of go under the same name. Um, it'll have, you know, just like I said, can't get too into it, but it'll basically be kind of curated ASMR stuff and like audiobooks and everything, but more to
audiobooks.
come.
So that's like a more of the narration side. But this also, you mentioned that some people weren't happy with ASMR Script Haven. And now, as someone that doesn't like really post creative works in the sense of scripts, I'm probably out of the loop here. But if you have some tea, I have a cup that is ready to be filled.
I'm probably not the best person for tea on this. As far as I'm aware, though, it just seemed like the moderators of that subreddit kind of were really, really, really inactive and everything. And then they did like a whole podcast about like, yay, we love being like owners of this subreddit that we never interact with. And it's kind of like, hey, that's really cool for you. I'm gonna go make a sub where we actually do that. Thanks.
Yeah, that somewhat makes sense because like sometimes I will see people posting like their normal, well, quote unquote normal ASMR videos, which is usually some lady in a low cut shirt and like bubble
Ooh,
wrap popping it
yeah.
into a microphone. And there'll be other times I know one of the rules is like you have to have a script that is posted on the Script Haven to post a video to it. So like sometimes I'll see that and I was like, oh, that is such a cool concept. And then I'll click on the video and see that there's like no script link to it. And it's like, oh man, that's that's just I mean it's good for them, but it's kind of a bummer whenever I find that.
Yeah, we're trying to make it a little bit better, but it's still kind of slow going.
Yeah. You'll get there, I'm sure. But you need to advertise it more. I will be honest. It took me a good month to find it. I was going through the daily posts, and I was like, I haven't seen Esme post in forever. and then I had to like go back through a previous fill and then click your link, and then from there I was able to find it. So we need to get the r/talking tall tales name out there so that it can get more of that glow.
Here's hoping. We've kind of been hoping it's been artificial, it's going to do artificial growth and everything. And my day job has been eating my sanity, but hey, I will not take like any gumption if somebody's going to rep us. Like, feel free.
See, another thing I was afraid of is I know that you had gotten some push. Now I tried. I spent way too much time going through Twitter replies trying to find someone that was like shaking their fists at the clouds and saying it's like, oh, that Esme. They every time they post, it's the number one post on Script Haven, and I am jealous of that. I know that as you know, as you like, you probably see more of that, but I wanted to like be able to pull like one person, like one quote so badly so I could like throw it up on the screen and it's like, look at this jerk, is this the reason, you know? But I couldn't find it. But to be fair, like X is so bad now that I could only go back like 2 weeks worth of stuff. Like you pop off on X, like you type out something and like 16 people just want to just like boom, 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 want to talk to you and say how awesome you are, and I don't blame them. But so talking tall tales had nothing to do with people like giving you flack for being the most popular, the most prolific ASMR scriptwriter.
No, it just came from wanting to help the community and everything. Like, I get nasty emails sometimes, and
Emails?
the occasional. Yeah, I know, right? Like, what the frick boomers get with it?
Oh my god. They're
I
sending you
know.
direct emails. Like it's not even like a message on Reddit. Like someone just it's like it's from their probably like their work address or something, right? It's like Tiny Tim at FedEx.com or something. And you're like, why would you put that to your name, sign your name to this? They send you actual honest to God emails.
Yeah, and hey, anybody that doesn't know, people can totally see your IP address in your email headers. Yeah,
Yeah.
be careful with that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, if people are genuinely envious of me, then it's usually news to me. Because I don't have beef with anybody in the community as far as I'm aware. If somebody has a beef with me, then I'm sorry, I am too much of an autistic little goblin to have noticed, but feel free to send me an email about it, I guess.
No, you can't encourage more emails to show up at your doorstep. Just tell them to say it on Twitter, like to say it in front of the crowd, so that everyone else can chime in and tell them how incredibly ill-informed they are for such a decision. That is insane to me that someone would, instead of like taking time to just write and do more, they're like, oh no, I'm going to email this person, I'm going to make them stop, and then my stuff is going to be great. Like did they
Yeah.
did they include their Reddit name? Like did they say it's like, you know, my series of harpy tomboys
No.
would have taken
No.
off if
None
only
of that.
your well-grounded semi New York style talking guys weren't taking up space. Hold on a second. That does remind me. I've been meaning to ask you about this forever. And you did
Okay.
say that you like kind of live in a big city now. Is it just me, or is it like there are a lot of guys that you write that are kind of like this like almost like 1950s style tough guy from New York City? Is
Hmm.
or am I projecting? Like every time I look at the script, I'm thinking it's like, is it? Am I going crazy here? Am I gaslighting myself, or is this like something that you're aware of?
No, I am very aware of it, and like a lot of the stereotypes for that come from my uncle Dominic, who very much so thought he was like a mobster. Like he was like the white suit mobster wannabe guy, and he
Yeah.
was very sweet to me. I loved him to bits and everything. But it's like, my dad would be like, Uncle Dom's in the mafia, right? And he's like, he works at Arby's. He's not in the mafia, Dad. unless his cover is like the best, he does not work. You
He's
know,
the
he's not
best
the
witness
model.
protection that we've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I just like that kind of character, just the tough guy, but you can get a little vulnerability out of him after a little bit. It's just a good stereotype to work with, you know.
I agree. Like it always hits. It is always fun. Um, Follow up to that question though, what makes you decide that you want to add a second character, like especially a second voiced character to a script?
It depends. Honestly, I think the situation where I see it the most often is when like it's a couple having a fight and like the speaker who is, in the fight can't recognize on their own that they're being a giant dill hole, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of instances like that in real life where it's like, oh, sorry, me and the old lady had a fight and everything, and the guy's friend is kind of like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, man. And then the guy is like, oh, you think? And it's like, yeah, I do. I do, in fact, think. But, like, I try to keep it narrow, but sometimes another character is just good to bounce off of. Like, it's just good to have somebody else in the room to kind of be like, oh, the mood.
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, it always like surprises me. There was what was it? There was one script I have sitting in my to-do list, and it requires another person, but it also has the guy in therapy, which I believe I saw a comment here recently where they said that you've been sending a lot of the characters to therapy. Is this true?
I mean, it's either that or I think that's like the best ending for them. What do you want? I get so many people that are like, I really would have liked this script better if he had died. It's like, well, you rewrite it then. He lives. You can kill the jerk boyfriend. I want him to live this
No,
time.
I stopped killing characters a long time ago because there would be too many people to ask for them to come back. It is too sad. Yeah, killing off people isn't that cool. It's fun to do when are you reading a book, right? Because it has a certain weight. I believe I once read someone write, oh my God, this isn't plugged into anything. I once read someone write that if you're going to include a crime in your book, that it has to be a murder because no one cares about anything less. And do you
Hmm.
ever read books on writing?
I mean, I do sometimes if there's something that I'm feeling particularly weak on, like pacing, for example. I've read a couple of good books on that recently, and I did read a book called Why Does He Do That? I'll have to look the author up, but it's a book about, well, abusive men, but it gave me a lot of insight into writing characters like that a lot better. You can get that book for free as a PDF. It's a great resource, by the way. Um,
Oh,
but yeah. Mhm,
and it's called Why Does He Do That?
mhm.
Amazing. Yeah, that I bet like it's a short Google away. We'll be able to find it. That so and but okay, even with the MIDI style that you use, you still want to read up more about pacing?
I do. It's just like because I'm on the spectrum, I get time blindness really bad, and that does translate into my writing. So there are whole series where I've like written something happening, and then I'm like, wait, did this happen in like 2 weeks or years? I'm scared. What happened?
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Okay. We have touched on others being envious and apparently writing you nasty emails. That is still hard to grasp. Yeah, I guess because they felt it was. I don't know. I don't know. I can't get in their head. I can't. I
I
can't even for a moment like fathom like
I've
what
had yeah,
delusion.
like I've had people that are like, "Ugh, I'm sick of seeing your scripts. Can you like post less?" And I've been on X like, "Hey, do you guys want me to actually post less? Because I will if you want." And everyone has been like, "I will grab you by your lapels if you don't." Like if you if you stop, I'm gonna find you. And it's like, all right, well,
But it's also like a
guess.
fundamental misunderstanding of how like social media works. Like they could just block your name. Like they would never see your posts if they just like click the little thing and it blocks it. So it's not even that. It's just that that's like straight up envious at that point because they want their stuff to be up higher, which is I don't know. It's I just can't fathom that mindset. Sometimes I will search like boyfriend ASMR in YouTube, and it's like, of course, my stuff is going to be at the top, but I'm never going to think like, well, if these people stop posting, then it's going to make it easier for my stuff to come up. No, because in at least on YouTube, it's stuff drives traffic from like
Mhm.
video to video. So if like some guy's video like really pops off, it might be, you know, my thumbnail in the end and someone clicks that based on recommended and they're making me money that way. But that is the long way around of me asking, is this with how prolific you are, is this what you do for a living?
It's not. This is a side gig for me. I have a day job as an IT tech, which is as glamorous as it sounds.
Oh yeah, you just turn it off and back on again. I get it. Yeah.
Yep, basically.
But earlier, we before we had turned on the stream, we had talked about a Patreon that you would run, and some people on the ASMR Script Haven side will sometimes post like their commission pages or their Ko-fi links, and it's like an entire post. And you have had this Patreon running for how long?
Um, Gosh, I can't even really recall. I don't even think it's been a year at this point. That it is what it is. I mean, Patreon is a service that has an algorithm that rewards consistency, same as YouTube. Same as really any kind of subscription, whatever, and everything. And with my, 4 collective jobs, it just didn't work great for me. It can work great for everyone, but not so much for me. It was still fun though.
So this is surprising because I've never heard of someone talk about like a Patreon algorithm. When you say that, like, are there people that have not seen your work previously that would be served your work through Patreon?
Yeah, believe it or not, there was guilt by association, I guess would be the nice way to put it. Because I was doing NSFWs pretty
Hmm.
much exclusively, or just stuff that was too raunchy for YouTube. And some people got recommended to me from others doing something similar. Not even ASMR scripts, just erotica. So there is definitely an algorithm. It's not very well explained, and you'll probably never really get the Google Analytics on it or anything, but it is definitely consistency based.
That is amazing. That's fascinating. I wouldn't have ever thought about that. And I've subscribed to a few Patreons over the years, like just seeing what different people offer and things like that. And it always felt so siloed off. I'm very surprised to learn that there's like a cross pollination, if you will, when it comes to Patreon. That is something new I have learned today. That is amazing, and it rewards consistent posting. I even had the app on my phone and never was recommended to anyone else. I wonder why that was. Hmm.
I
But
think it's been improving lately, at the very least.
yeah. But believe the last update was that the Patreon is closing down, and you're going to be posting the content somewhere else. Is that correct?
Yep, pretty much just going to be posting all the NSFWs straight on my Reddit profile. So click safely, please.
If you are over the age of 18 and want to check out r/u/ it's Esme Jones on Reddit is where you want to go. Click the follow button, make the numbers go up, and all that good stuff. How many? Which is your like if you wanted to post something and you thought like I need this to be seen by as many people as possible, what platform are you posting on?
That's a tough one. I guess with my current audience, probably Reddit. But honestly, if I had the energy, I would just create my own blog and min-max that thing to, make it my own. Honestly, that's the kind of control that a lot of people need,
Mm-hmm.
but the initial investment can be a pain in the butt.
So, is there a future Esme Substack in the works?
I don't know about that. Um, no, I mean, right now I think we're mostly just focusing on talking tall tales and everything. And a thumbnail project, which I'm hoping to get off the ground to help folks.
Nail project. Okay, so I've actually been talking with someone else about the process of thumbnails lately.
Mhm.
So this is fascinating to learn that you're also dipping your toes into this, and part of the reason why it fascinates me is because the way that a script is written and titled is so much different than how it will be portrayed on YouTube.
Mhm.
The way it grabs someone's attention. You can go with like it's not even like an inside joke kind of name, but like it can be a name that portrays more vibes. Whereas YouTube, it's like boyfriend hits you with chair on top of the head while standing. Like it's an entire clue set that you put out for YouTube when it comes to titles and thumbnails and things like that. So what kind of thumbnail work are you talking here?
So basically, the idea would be to create a kind of contract for artists where it would basically be like, hey, we're going to pay you X amount to create this many pieces of art that are going to be commercially available, and then basically just figure out a good hosting site for the images and everything. The caveat is, of course, going to be like, the contract and the artists and having their names in there and kind of figuring that out and everything. But honestly, it should be fairly straightforward and repetitive enough to where we can just keep vetting artists, bringing them on, and getting more art, and like enough to where AI won't be necessary or even attractive. But again, in the works.
It's amazing. So it's kind of like so currently like the I believe the go-to answer for people is to go to like Pick Crew if you are looking for the most ethical way, short of paying an artist on your own, to source a guy. And then there's the rest of us that are just incredibly sleazy, like me, who will go to Pinterest and try to find some guy with fairly light skin and black hair and maybe muscular. Perhaps he's showing a little bit of his abs or something. And that's just what I will go with because I am utter gutter trash when it comes to deciding like what kind of guy I think is going to be, marketable in this case. But
Well, there is a workaround for that no one will ever tell you. Just find fake grand order boys and get their pictures. Like
oh,
the people
really?
that own Fate Grand Order do not care about that, like the thumbnail art. And there are plenty of lookers in there, like Okada Izo. There you go. Perfect murder hobo.
Murder hobo. All right, I'll have to keep that in mind. Fate Grand Order, FGO. For those
Mm-hmm.
that are looking for it on the App Store, it is always celebrating some anniversary or something. I watch a few streamers that play around with the Fate stuff, and the Fate universe is cool. Like I like it, but they don't mind at all when people just like lift like, I guess in-game art, right? Because it wouldn't be like fan art, because then it's oh man. This is why I pay Sage sometimes, and I underpay Sage like wildly. I can't imagine how much money it would cost for y'all to come up with this style. And I always tell people there's this one guy, Boyfriend Audios, who just has like a pair of glasses as his thumbnail and background. And God bless him for it because he can just crank them out like that. He just like different shades of the rainbow are his background, and that man does work. He has escaped the meta. But I'll be really interested to see what you guys come up with in terms of the different gentlemen and ladies, right? because there's definitely a certain type of lady that is, eye catching when it comes to thumbnails. But
Hmm.
so does the thumbnail also, I guess it leaves room for people to put on like their own text or stuff. Or are you guys going to have it where it's kind of like a built-in software? Like you can put the text on it and export it from there and it's like a JPEG you download.
Well, I don't know if we could do like the software build for that and everything. For right now, I think it would just be image host. You go, you find what you want, you download it in
Mm-hmm.
like, JPEG, PNG, whatever, and then you can just edit it how you like. The only like main caveat I think was like the like artist name would be in there to where it can't really be removed or like watermarked over or anything easily like that, which I feel is a fair compromise.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. All right, so man, thumbnails. You guys are taking on thumbnails. You already score your stuff. That is impressive. If here's a question that I feel like probably I don't ask often enough of people, but if you had to start from scratch, if you had to start a fake Reddit account, a Finsta, whatever it is, to start from zero, what would you do differently?
Um, well, I'd have sound effects in there now that I know where to go get them. I mean, honestly, my whole journey has just been at first having fun, just sitting behind the computer screen, typing away, not really minding if anybody noticed or not, to I love this community and I want to do whatever I can to help it. So, honestly, if I started over, I would just try to help from the beginning instead of just, sitting behind the keyboard.
Really? Now, because like the reason I ask is because you are so prolific and successful. If you were like telling someone that was writing from scratch, like would this be the same kind of advice you give them, or would you say like, "Hey, try to stick to yanderes, or try to make sure that you at least make one monster girl series, or in the case of tomboys, I don't know why I keep coming back to tomboys. I might have to talk to a doctor about that one. It was, you know what it was? I saw on X was like a guy unlocked a genie and he immediately asked for like a tomboy girlfriend and it's stuck in my head ever since. And that was like maybe 2 hours ago. So that's why it's top of mind.
I mean, I am a tomboy by definition, so it is what it is. Um, Honestly, with any writer, my first bit of advice would be just enjoy the journey. Like, find your voice. That is the most important thing you can do is find your unique voice and cultivate it and everything. If they're asking me like, "Hey, how do I be successful?" then I might be like, "I don't know, give Yandere a try." Fine. But you should always be having fun, like at the end of the day, because if you're having fun, it'll show in your work and people will be attracted to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they would be too. So, we had talked briefly about how you do the musical score, about how you come up with the ideation. But if you were to like say, here is let's talk about your latest script. What is the last one that you posted? Forgive me, I don't know it off the top of my head.
I believe that would be You're My Favorite, which is a Yandere one.
All right. So in You're My Favorite, how much time is devoted to like pondering over the idea versus scripting versus editing? Do you spend more time editing than you do writing? Like what's the breakdown there?
So, idea is like 15 to 20 seconds when it pops into my head,
I thought you were
basically.
going to say percent.
Nope. Writing, like, honestly, I kind of edit as I write, so that's basically 100% of it is just speeding on through and being like, ha ha ha, wouldn't it be funny if the coworker was secretly a yandere? Ha 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 ha, yes, it was quite funny. It was not funny. It was terrifying. But yeah, no, it's just idea in brain, go.
So it's
That's
it
it.
And have you ever like you've done 1,000 of these. Have you ever felt like, oh, this is blatantly a copy of X, Y, and Z, but I'm doing it with my spin and I'm doing it for ASMR RP, so it's just totally fine to run with it.
I don't think I've ever sat and thought, "Oh, this is a blatant ripoff." I will say that, well, with you specifically, the first time you did a fill of mine, I was like, "Oh, this is a format that is interesting. This is a niche format with a satisfying cathartic payoff if done correctly. I'm gonna do this for months and nobody can stop me."
I'm hurt. I'm hurt
What?
because I actually filled one your Daisy series first
You
before
did.
I went into my argument phase, my toxic phase that I have never left. I am in my soft boy toxic era. And what was it? Recently, I think on Tuesday, I posted the cop that like re-broke your arm when checking on you, but that was a change of a different script. But it's yeah. I when I was listening over the second episode of the ASMR Script Haven podcast, you'd mentioned how I niched down, and I am very appreciative of any time that you come out with an angst script. So thank you very much for all the time that you have devoted towards that.
I mean, I'll be real with you. Anytime it pops into my head, I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be a UTC script," which hopefully should tell you that I appreciate you and enjoy your company. It's not just a like, "Ah, frick, it's gonna be this BS
Yeah, it's
again."
like he's gonna cover it, and I gotta deal with his nonsense. So thank you
Like,
very much.
I mean, I do think it's funny where it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna write this and he's gonna yell at me, but I did it to myself."
Yeah. Okay,
Oh
so
goodness.
what is one script that you've written
Hmm.
that people have asked for a part two that you are dead set against?
Oh golly. That script you mentioned earlier about the guy seeing a therapist and everything. If I
Mm-hmm.
if I'm remembering that one correctly, I really didn't want to write a part two to that because I'm really not fond of cheating like in scripts or in any literary medium for personal reasons.
Yeah.
But so many people were like, "No, I need like I want to hurt. You don't understand. I want to hurt." So I finally was just like, "Okay, then hurt," and did a part two. And now already it's like, "Okay, but how about that part three?" And it's like, "My God, my dudes,
It's
my
endless.
brothers and sisters in Christ."
Yeah. It's sweet because people want a continuation to the story. On the other hand, sometimes it feels like, well, maybe the story is just ended and there is no more like fantastical tale with this couple or this group or these characters. There's many other things to explore. And what people sometimes ask for when they ask for a part two is they want that happy ending. Is they're like, how do we get from conflict to a happy ending? And please, please, please make it. That's at least that's how I interpret a lot of the requests for part twos. I
You know
have
what
been getting
the funniest part of it is that I like you did one of my scripts where I straight up was like, "Hey, just so you guys know, this was a response to somebody saying, 'Hey, Esme, your angst game is weak.'" It's like, and then they came back and they were like, "What? This is sad. Why would you do this?" And it's like, What do you want? What is it you desire from me, your personal trash fairy? Because I can't help you. I don't think I can help you."
so where is it these people are finding you and cornering you and just basically necking you? Is it like other writers that you're talking with, or is it people that are on your personal Reddit page? Like, where is this happening?
It's mostly just like in the Reddit comments, on the scripts themselves and everything. Like I know they're just they're being cute and everything. It's adorable, but at the same time, it's like I. But the character died. I can't. There's. I'm not bringing him back. This isn't Marvel. You can't make me. He's just dead now.
Oh, shots fired at Marvel. Is that because I was it? I think Iron Man's coming back for something. Is that
Ew,
what you're
is
referring
he?
to? I heard they're gonna do Iron Wars, and maybe that's like a what if, a Marvel what if. I haven't kept up. There is a new Captain America movie that's coming out next year. I had no clue about, and I always just assumed that like they didn't cast a woman, and that's why I haven't had my YouTube feed flooded with angry people. So it's just like
Oh,
something innocuous.
those gosh dang women taking all the roles in Hollywood.
Oh my God, I can't. These people are so weird. And,
I
and it,
mean,
it makes me long for the 90s where like you always had to include a wheelchair kid in whatever you were doing. Like no one was screeching about it. And you know what happened is we built ramps places. All right. The world became a better place because of the wheelchair guy we added to the new extreme Ghostbusters. You know, these things are like totally fine to include people in. Just
yeah. I mean, I just miss the 90s where it was like, ha ha ha, the fat kid is fat. That is his entire personality. It's like, hey, me too. I can relate to this. Oh
he's
my god, that's.
hungry.
Listen, I. You know what? The Marvel thing, though, doesn't even annoy me because they do that crap all the time in the comic books, too. It's like, oh, Captain America's a Nazi. Oh, no, he's not a Nazi. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's not dead.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Well,
It's like,
the X Men
ooh,
has such a good take on it because the Goat, my hero, my king, Jonathan Hickman, wrote the X
ooh.
Men into the point where it's like, hey, they got like weird superpowers, and that's their entire deal. They've conquered death. We're gonna have them die on a regular basis, and that's just part of their society now. And that was like to me such a cool sea change in the way that like comic book stories were told. It hurt me personally when he finished up his time on the book. But
Oh, I
I
bet. He
recommend
was excellent.
oh yeah, I recommend his work to anyone. Not just that, but like the Fantastic Four and what was
Oh, yeah.
it? Secret Wars. Yeah.
Secret Wars was so good. Like, honestly, like, for anything that just does death in a really satisfying way, I'm gonna say it, regular show. Regular show did not give a single F word about anybody dying in it because it's just like, oh, they came back for to fight the giant duck man. That's cool. What? But it's so cool. You're just like, I don't care. This is awesome. Let it be.
I couldn't what was it? Mordecai. Mordecai was too cringe with his breakup and any episode of like regular show. I couldn't watch that and separate that part of the character out. So for me as like I could never like really get into it the same way I would something like Adventure Time.
It's hard to sit through, but I get like the thing I think a lot of people miss is that that show is about growing up in your 20s and learning to be a less shitty person.
Yeah.
And Mordecai has to grow past the cringe too, unfortunately, which is hard to watch, but you know, at the end of it you're like, "Oh good, he's not a simp. Yay. Good
So
job."
you're saying it's worth the payoff. I should go back and watch more regular show.
Yes.
If
Yes,
I
I
were to
am.
skip to like the last season, would that just be fine, or like am I missing out on all the character growth?
You'll it's one of those shows where you can watch it kind of randomly, but the
Hmm.
character growth does come episodically and it is subtle. So you can go to season 8, but you'll be
Season
really
8?
confused.
I
Yeah.
thought there would be like just 5 seasons or something. 8 seasons of a show. That thing ran for 8 years. Good lord.
Yeah, it did. It was awesome.
I feel older now. I feel old all the time, but I feel older specifically for that running for 8 years.
Oh,
But
same.
I had five in mind because I have heard you have hot takes on the final season of Steven Universe.
Oh, good. Good pirouetting into that. I do. I do. My hot take, it's Steven Universe was one of those shows where it's like it could have been a lot better than it actually was,
Hmm.
but then they just kind of decorated it with service writing. And I don't know if anybody here knows that term, but
I
it's
do not know
basically
that term.
just it's writing that's like good enough until you hold it up to scrutiny. It's Overwatch writing, where it's like, oh, that sounds neat. And then you look at it and you're like, that doesn't make any freaking sense. That doesn't why is she blue? Why is this lady just blue? But regardless, like
So it's not
you
fan
really
service writing. It's like it's serviceable writing. Like it's like they've brought on some what are they called? Contractors, right? And they say, pad this out with 6 more episodes that do nothing to move the story along.
kind of like it blends together in Steven Universe because you have the villains in the diamonds and everything. And the whole show's been building up to that and the twist reveal at the end, which I won't say in case somebody somehow doesn't know what I'm talking about, but
It's been forever. Hold on. I have no intention of watching Steven Universe, but I feel like this is a spoiler warning that we can give out. I because it's going to give me context in what you're saying. So if you do not want to be spoiled on the twist, I guess is this a twist?
yeah, it's a twist.
Okay, the twist of Steven Universe. Then, now is the time to protect your sensitive ears. And then when you see my head wildly gesticulate as it has been, the tracking has been off all day at the very end, and that is when you can turn the sound back on. All right. So what is it that happened?
All right, so TLDR, Steven's mom, Rose Quartz, turns out to be Pink Diamond. One of the diamonds, the big bads, the space dictators. Cool. Fine. Whatever. But, like, they build up to that for seasons upon seasons, and they give all of these other characters who have nothing to do with anything whole episodes. And it's like, that would be really cool if you ever freaking filled out your villains once. What are their character arcs? What are their motivations? Why are they so pissed off? Why won't you talk about it? Like, it's just, you meet White Diamond, the big bad, right?
Hmm.
Like, Space Hitler, but in drag. Fine. Like, and they never tell you why she's militant, why she is the way she is. It's just like, oh, we're gonna make an abusive family like correlation, and that's all you need, right? And it's like, no, these are rulers of a freaking sentient gem race. What are their character? And then by the end of it, it's just like, oh no, they're friendly now. Ooh woo. Why?
Oh, they get rehabilitated at the end.
They do, and it's like, no, no,
No comeuppance, just
nothing.
power of friendship.
Basically, yeah. Like,
Oh.
it's like, oh no, they made White Diamond blush, and that's how she's defeated. It's like, excuse me? I beg your F word? Like, what? It's one of those things where it's like, oh, but they had plans for this and everything. And it's like, that's really cool. I didn't need 5 episodes about goddamn Pizza Girl number 2. I need to know who these people are and what they want. Because they're like, it's like they show up to kill everybody, and then they're like, oh, it's like, oh, you're actually Pink Diamond. That's incredible. Now we're friends again. It's like, I. Okay,
Yeah.
the meme that's been going around where it's just like shoot them with the dehydration gun. It's that.
Are
It's
you
just
talking
the
about
shit.
the Batman movie? Is that now a meme?
I mean, that's been a meme. Not like they made a Megamind 2 and Schaeferless reviewed it and everything, and he just had this moment where he got progressively more and more angry because Megamind wouldn't shoot these dudes with his dehydration gun,
Hmm.
even though it would have been the easiest way to fucking solve the whole movie. It's just that. It's like, okay, why didn't you just break the diamonds? Why didn't you just break the diamonds? Why didn't you just break the. It's. You never get more on them. They did an after. whatever, where Steven has PTSD and that's cool.
Hmm.
But they're just friends now. They're so friendly. They're like, oh woo, my power is now being a stoner. Lol. There's my hot takes. I'm upsetty spaghetti now.
So my question would be, and I've thought about this a lot in the way that I've seen media portrayed, is that it used to be like, for example, Hunger Games, right?
Hmm.
In Hunger Games, there is the big bads. Things are wrong, and at the end, like the idea is to establish regime change. In the Star Wars trilogy, there is the Empire. They're going around blowing up planets, and you beat them, and you install your own government. And that seems to have been a thing that you don't see too much in media these days. Not only because like characters would have to take on a leadership role after being these revolutionaries, but because I think more and more people are starting to realize that like when you talk about like the side that is revolutionary, you are not talking about the side that would be where a large population of the viewing audience would be. Like you would not say like oh hey, we're the scrappy American revolutionaries kind of guys from the 1700s. Now we are just like this established empire. And when it comes to facing people that have done like atrocities and stuff like that, it is often framed at a point for like, how can we forgive them so they can go back to like doing what they really wanted to do all along, which was just make the world a better place.
Shoot them with a dehydration gun.
The dehydration gun. I don't know that meme because I haven't seen Megamind 2. The closest thing I saw was people talking about power scaling when it came to uh, the the dude that looks like Markiplier. I forget his name, but
Metro Man?
yes, Metro Man. Yeah, because apparently
Yeah.
he was like so fast that he just would be able to like blitz any other person, and
Oh
that
yeah,
was
no. He and Titan both were basically God in Megamind 1, and then in Megamind 2, it's like, alright, you've got Lava Monster, Weather Girl, Mime, Night that makes things dark.
I am a fan anytime a mime gets superpowers and or has like a special gimmick. And they did this in DC, I feel like really well, where they had a pair of mimes that were able to just like, use their finger guns and it acted like real guns. I was always a big fan of that. I'm hoping that you're about to tell me that Megamind 2 is worth watching because the mimes get the proper glow up in this one as well.
Um, do you like DreamWorks shows that on Nickelodeon, like The Penguins of Madagascar? Because it's about the same quality, but with terrible writing.
No.
I
No, it would not be the same.
No, like the mime is okay. He hypnotizes people, but
Hmm.
he also talks, and it's like you're not a real mime.
Hypnotizes people.
Yeah, he kind of does like a Junji Ito spiral shape with his fingertip, and that hypnotizes people.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, I can't wait until they come out with that show. Are you gonna watch it when it comes out?
Maybe,
Have you
maybe.
have you read the series?
I have not. Sorry, I'm
Oh,
looking at pictures of this mime dude, and I'm just like, ugh.
just not big on mimes right now. I get it. All right,
I mean, I
so
like mimes. I just think this guy's a chud. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, I'll stop looking at mimes.
thank you. So aside from Reddit, are there any other places that you post scripts?
Um, Not scripts per se. I do other writing work on sites like Upwork, and I do some, ghostwriting for books and stuff. But
Really?
yeah,
Ghostwriting for books. So I guess when you ghostwrite for books, you can't exactly say what books, right?
I can't, no.
Oh.
Because
Can you
technically
tell us a
speaking, I didn't.
genre?
Um, Most recent one, erotic sci-fi. Yeah. There's
Erotic
not a
sci-fi. Oh, so
Yes.
if I go to Barnes and Noble and I find the spiciest Star Wars book that they have on the shelf, I could possibly be reading your work.
If it's got a sexy General Grievous in it, maybe.
There we go. Y'all heard it here. Go out and look for the sexiest General Grievous that you can find. And it might be written by it's Esme Jones, proprietor of r/Talking Tall Tales. Something to check out and follow when you check out Reddit next time. Next time you look up your little cat pictures and animals being bro memes. What other subreddits do you enjoy?
I really like Data is Beautiful. That's actually how I know so much about algorithms and YouTube and everything. I like Nature is Effing Lit. That's always a good one. And I will admit, sometimes when I'm bored, I peruse, like, Am I the Asshole?
Right. See, now I had thought maybe you use that as inspiration for scripts or something, because I was looking for like those hater comments, and so I was like, oh, I'll just click their profile and search to see like what who they're talking to, kind of things. And you do have like when you browse Am I the Asshole, you do have a take on the people. You do not hold back.
No, I get a little spicy sometimes, which I shouldn't, because like 99% of the stuff on there is 100% somebody's creative writing assignment. Which, by the way, writers can tell. We can tell, okay? Don't. But still, it's like, I don't know, it's fun to get heated every now and again, because
Hmm.
like, heck, my best friend and I met each other because of an argument on Reddit, and I met my fiance through him.
No way.
Yeah.
Tell. Come on, you gotta tell that story.
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember it. I think it was like an argument over the word dreamt with a T. And at the time, I was like, I don't really think that gets used as much or that gets used anymore. I'm pretty sure it's just dreamed. And my
Dreamed?
bestie, yeah. And my bestie was like, in his British monotone, like, ass way, was just like, actually, that's completely incorrect. And we argued back and forth, and finally he was just kind of like, I'm having a lovely chat with you. Do you want to take this to the DMs? And I was like, yeah, all right. And I've been friends with him for over 10 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, but like also I've heard this trend of where they're describing Americans taking like the proper King's English at this point, and they drop T from a lot of the words. I think there's like an entire list that they had. This is once again like me falling down the TikTok rabbit hole, trying to be radicalized by the CCP before they get shut down in like a year or so. I don't know. Do you think TikTok's going to get shut down permanently in the US?
No, no way. That thing makes way too much money. It's no more of a security risk than literally anything else. It's
Right,
probably not
right.
going to go away.
But like so it makes money for someone else, which is the main problem here. It's like it's not making money for an American. It's making money for Singaporeans over in Singapore, and then like the people that use it for their business and things like that. Elected leaders probably could care less about. And the fact that you can say like China is scary is a good way to sell to people. That's like, well, this is why we chose only this, and we pass legislation that only targets this one website, and God forbid we have any kind of data safety that's put into law. So yeah, I don't know. I'm of two minds of this. Part of me thinks that like the government falling through on anything would be impressive and like a feat in and of itself. But the other part of me is like, they probably would take away what the kids like. They did it to vaping.
Yeah, I mean, probably, yeah. I don't think it's gonna get banned over here, and honestly, I think the CCP has way too many internal problems to super duper worry about it on their end either. Like, they are collapsing from the inside, and that's a little bit more scary than some kids doing the floss. I don't know what kids do anymore. I'm freaking old. Or
They
like,
do they do the slick back. Do you know what the slick
um
back is?
UTC, please.
Is that, do you know what the slickback is?
No, no, I don't. No, you just
It
got
is
me. Wait, no, a
the
pimp named Slickback.
No, and I understand. You would think that it has something to do with the pimp named Slickback, but the move itself makes it look like the person is floating on air as they are like running to the side. If you take the time and look it up, the Slickback dance. It is the audio mixed from a pimp named Slickback. That is 100% part of it, but the dance itself is incredible, and I still can't figure out how it works. I have spent probably a good hour trying to learn how to do this because it looks like people are dancing on air.
Oh, it's this. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like a moonwalk hop into a hit dim, folks.
Yeah,
That's fair.
it is definitely it's the new floss in my opinion. That's what people are going to. Well, I guess people can't reference it in popular media because then you're referencing a pimp. But yeah, that would be the one that has caught on at least most of the attention I've seen.
That's pretty cool.
Oh
Huh.
yeah.
Don't mind me. Like I have a weird fascination with like hip hop dancing and like using it in animation and everything. So I know all of this like BS that's not helpful to anybody about like hip hop dancing.
Do you do any work in animation?
I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn. It's a slow process.
Yeah. What kind of program do you use to animate? Is it like oh god, what was that 3D one? It's like Unity. No, like Unity doesn't do animation. What do people use these days?
I'm using Maya at present.
Oh yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
It's hard as frick, but it is fun. Like I don't know. I'm probably trying to like learn too many things at once, but that's just how the brain go.
Yeah, you could pick up that shiny thing. I get it. That's how I started. A couple years ago. It's like, oh, this doing the sleep aid stuff on Reddit is nice and shiny. Let's put out a bunch of those. And then I made many more mistakes after that. And here I am today, being able to interview one of the most successful Reddit writers there is, Ghost Writer to Smutty Grievous, the progenitor of the Daisy Saga, and if we're going to be honest here, probably another series that you would like to shout out right now, because I'm going to ask you outside of the Daisy series, because it is so prominent and it is so easy to get into. You have Enzo with his artwork that's immediately a thumbnail boy that people can grab onto, and he is very meta. He does have that fair skin, he does have that black hair. He just hits all the right points. But outside of the Daisy series, what is your most popular series?
My most popular one, probably A King in Chains. It used to be The King's Black Heart, but I'm pretty sure it's A King in Chains now.
So are those two different like series, or is it like one that leads into another?
They are two different series. The King's Black Heart was really, really popular there for a long while and had a polyamory king thing going for it, which is probably why it was so popular. um, A King in Chains is just Zaid the dragon, and he is God, he's I don't even really know a nice way to like say it. He's just a flirt, but like on speed. I'm trying to think of the PG-13 version for it, but I can't.
Yeah, he's
I'm
just
sorry.
he's yeah. Are we talking like is he like a Rick and Morty style dragon? Is that what we're talking about here?
No, he's a winky face, ooh woo kind of dragon. He is very much so one of those like, oh no, my towel slipped, and it's like that's cool, but you're still wearing pants. Oh no, my pants burnt off.
Oh my goodness. Hold on
He
just a
is
moment
an
here.
asshole.
All right, I am going to open up this Q&A questions for Esme. Go here. Start Q&A. And then let me pull up some of the ones I got from this. Have you had a chance to check out the community post? We did have someone say that I read your scripts as a hobby. They wanted to know what is your favorite script and what script are you most proud of? And is there a difference between the two?
Hmm. Well, the script I'm the most proud of is honestly one that nobody has like read, and it's called Maneater. Um, I don't really like I'm really proud of it, and I do love it, but it's not like my all-time favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd have to give that one to Oni of the Morning Sun. Um, I just I love how goofy that couple is. Like the priestess and Hiriko are just goofballs that love each other, and it's great. Maneater is a total opposite. It is a horror script. Wouldn't I don't know if I would recommend it per se. It's a weird one, but I'm really proud of it. I wrote it.
Yeah. And their final question is, are there any hints for what is next for Don't Talk to the Boy with Scars, with these scars?
You know what? New season coming within the next week. How about that?
A new season. You guys heard it here first or somewhere else, but eventually you heard it here. A new season. So how many seasons are there with the Don't Talk to the Boy with the Scars?
This will probably be the final one.
Oh, wow. A veritable Netflix offering right there. Like, May 15th, new season drops right there. Another question that's come in is what motivated you to start script writing?
Like I said, I just kind of stumbled on the format and everything. Writing dialogue has always been one of my strengths when it comes to just any kind of writing, so the fact that it's such a dialogue heavy medium just worked really well for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then the community proved to be like so loving and chill and accepting. I was just like, all right, I'm here to stay.
Yeah, the community really is great. That's one of the fantastic things. Not only that, but like it also encourages multiple script fills of the same thing, which is not what you would find in other places. Like you wouldn't see the same top 10 list be filled by multiple people on YouTube. But I've always been amazed at how readily people and how willing people are to listen to like new versions of their old favorites.
That is always nice.
Yeah. Next one is, do you have a writing schedule?
Um, I don't really have a schedule per se, but I try to write bare minimum 1K words per day. Whether that gets published or not really depends on like my energy levels and how much I've gotten done, but I try to stick to 1K minimum per day at the very least.
Mhm. Are there any, do you have like any like good luck rituals before you start? Is there like throwing some salt over one shoulder kind of thing that goes on? Do you have like a special sweatband you put around your head that maybe like you do up a ponytail before you get to writing? Like what sets you down in the writing mood?
So I'm pretty much always kind of in writing mode, which I know probably isn't great for my health. Um, honestly, like I have playlists that I use, and I use something called Brain.fm when like the spectrum is proving too difficult.
Hmm.
It's got music to kind of help people like with ADHD or autism or whatever focus. It is like a paid subscription. It's not that much, but you can listen for free too. It helps me when I'm struggling though, so it is a resource if you'd like.
That's really interesting. So that is Brain, BRAIN .fm, the website that helps you focus for people with neurodivergence, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, just Brain.fm.
Awesome. All right. So you say you do like 1,000 words, and I know from personal experience, 1,000 words puts us at about maybe 5, maybe 6 minutes. And most scripts are a little bit longer than that. So do you in general try to write a script all in one go? Or is it that you will get to like a certain point, take some time away, and then come back to it a different day?
It really varies, to be honest. I'm kind of one of those heathens that like has a Google Docs tab open, gets an idea, opens another one, starts writing, goes back to the first one, opens a new tab, new idea, rinse, repeat until it gets done. One of them, anyways.
So like that 1,000. Okay, well, look, I got to ask the question: how many tabs do you have open right now?
Um, about 20.
No. All right. And so that 1,000 a day, do you measure that across all documents, or do you say like it has to be on one specific document?
Honestly, I measure them across all if I'm having a low energy day. That's
Hmm.
my one way that I'm usually nice to myself when it comes to this sort of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, that answers the next question, which was to ask you: do you finish one before you start another? Do you have multiple going? Obviously, multiple going, but it is a process, and it is one that works. That covers the ones asked in the community stream. I have a few here that have been asked in the live stream. This one is from Nayland and says, "Does Esme think it is easier to write for everyone rather than writing for a person in particular?"
Okay.
I don't know if that means, wait, I personally think it is hard to write when I don't know who will use it. Oh, okay. So, like, do you have a VA in mind when you write something and that makes it easier?
So, to be honest, not typically. Like, if I'm commissioned to write for someone in particular, then I go out of my way to, like, listen to a bunch of their stuff, nail down their voice, their niches, etc. But if I'm just writing something broadly, I'm usually just writing for me, just having fun and everything. But honestly, I kind of trust at this point that I connect well enough with the community that people are generally, hopefully, going to enjoy it. And I think that's kind of one of the hard parts is learning to trust yourself as a writer and
Hmm.
just being like, you know what, even if people don't enjoy this, I had fun writing it. So that's where I kind of sit.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a good way to go about it too, because at the end of the day, you've when you hit that script and you put it out, like you're happy with it, and as the part of the intended audience, like that is fulfilling, and that's something that I've always felt when I make videos as well. Sam asks, "Are there any scripts you're considering doing a reboot for?"
Um, I've had a couple of requests to do that for the Still Here series, which I might end up doing because people apparently really like Bully Redemption series hype. Other than that, besides the King of Wraiths, not really at this point. I'm open to suggestions, of course.
Yeah. Um, and you can send those as suggestions online at user slash it's Esme Jones, ITS Esme Jones on Reddit. And that's where you'll find it. Soon to be a Substack author, or where you can send fan letters to the smuttiest General Grievous fanfics that you can find published at Barnes and Nobles. Any one of those
Conceivably,
places, you'll be able to reach Esme. That is a,
please,
yeah.
please.
Sensory VA Audios asks a question, and they are a very was it was I was going to say lore. They are a very story-driven channel. They have recurring characters. They have through lines that go in many of their videos, and they build up a universe unto themselves. And they ask, "What is your brainstorming format like for making multi-part stories and scripts?"
You know, for me, I usually do like this kind of initial burst of like, oh, these characters seem interesting, and then I'll work on building them. And then it's like, okay, what kind of world would these people belong in? And then I build the world around them. And then it's
Mhm.
like, okay, well, what would these people do together? And that's where the plot comes in. Like, I build around character because that's the easiest for me. And there are different root points. It's like you can start with plot, you can start with setting, you can start with characters, whichever. that's just how I usually do it. I build around character and kind of go from there.
Mm-hmm. So, do you feel like so when you say you build from character and go from there, like there are these you put the characters in the set and they speak to you kind of situation, or is it like you have an idea of where you need it to go, and you tell it through how they would present it?
So I'll use Daisy as an example. When I first started, it went, okay, Mafia seems to be a popular trope. Let's give that a try, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here are the characters. And then it's like, okay, so from their initial interaction, I got what I needed to build Moonvale around them and everything. Now, at the time, Moonvale was not meant to be a supernatural place. I had not gotten that far. Then episode 3 hit, and it was like, oh, this character is a succubus. Okay, I guess it is supernatural. And everything kind of built out from there. Like, characters just filled positions. Daisy and Enzo kind of guided the plot line forward by themselves. Worked great.
And let's see, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head how many parts there are, because I know there's the Daisy and Enzo series, there's the trip to Japan, and then
Mhm.
there's the wedding. And then I assume there's like something tangential after that, because I have looked many times through your list of published scripts. And I think like that fourth one is where the story ended, correct?
The Daisy series been done for over a year now.
Just over.
Um,
Wait. I thought you'd started 3 years ago.
yeah, like I finished up the last part of Daisy a while ago, though. Like that's been done for a good bit.
Well, to be honest, though, like I've been at this for a while, so that's probably just me confusing the flow of time here.
No, you're
Uh,
totally okay.
let's see here. So she asks, "Would you ever do a script of any things you love?" I'm not exactly sure how that translates over here to English exactly, but if you were to fill one of your own scripts, which one would it be?
Mm, the one that had Dr. Killjoy in it. If I'm gonna play anybody, I want to be a psychotic lady that's like coming in to torture a prisoner because that just sounds like a fun time.
You're gonna shoot for the moon on the very first one as being psychotic. It'd be a far stretch. Is Doctor Killjoy the only character in that one, or is it like a multi-part? What would be the name of that one?
It's been a while since I've written that one. I'd have to look up the title, but no, Dr. Killjoy, I believe, is the only speaker in it. There might be some lines from like the warden, but you can edit those out pretty easily. Dr. Killjoy is female, but gender flipping is always allowed.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's just her being like, "Oh, you're a silly little prisoner, huh? You're a little serial killer. Oh, let's fix that. Let's go ahead and fix that."
Well, that's cool. And Nayland finishes up here and says, not quite a question, but wanted to ask Esme because when I started to write the scripts last year, I doubted a lot about what I could write. And they wanted to say that, that they had doubted a lot about what they could write and that you gave them helpful advice, really nice advice. That is very nice of you. Thank you very much. It is definitely something I have also benefited from is being able to reach out for your counsel and ask questions. So let me take this time on behalf of everyone that has shown up, everyone that has been excited to hear from you, and say thank you for the hard work, thank you for the laughs, and thank you for all the dedication that it has taken to build these worlds and then let us all play in them.
Well, you're a sweetheart. I'll try to remember that next time you're yelling at me from a thing I wrote.
I don't text you and yell at you. I usually I'm just saying it's like, hey, can I change this? Because I Why does it come across as yelling? Is it just like you're listening to the audio and it's I'm yelling at the person and you're taking that personally? In which case, I totally understand. I have a lot of people that do that.
I mean, it's honestly really funny to sit and listen to you do the performances and everything. Because I'm sitting there like, oh, yes, good, he's nailing it, he's nailing it. Ow, my feelings! Yes, yes, good, that's, yes. Good line read, good line read. It's hard. You're a really convincing actor. Sometimes it's just like, oh no, he's mad at. Wait, I'm not dating him. Wait, what the fuck? No,
It's
no.
very method. I am a toxic person all the time, and it's just something I'm allowed to express in scripts, as everyone knows. Everyone that gets to talk to me will come away and tell you like this is the worst possible person I could have ever met,
Mm,
and the fact that I am a farther away from them, I am a better person for it. Do you aside from so you talked about in Tall Talking Tales, read the new subreddit that you guys are working on? There is a big project outside of the thumbnail project that involves things like audiobooks. Does this mean that there's going to be like okay, so this is me poking at it, and this is at the very end, and it's totally fine if you don't want to say yes or no. But does this mean that there might be something like the Audacity publishing thing, where these are not just going to YouTube, but maybe going to like a paid service?
well, I mean, honestly, we really want to bring the community in and everything. And I think the main goal at the end of the day is going to be like, oh, here's some scripts. Like, we're commissioning you to put this up on here. You can have a profile that like goes back to your YouTube or whatever and everything. Like, it's really just a big effort to kind of bring the community together to have like curated content that people get to vote on more readily that's a little bit safer and etc. So it's a work in progress and everything, but we do want to get people involved for sure. And yeah, you're on the list too, buddy, don't worry.
Oh, thank you very much. I actually struggle with part of the reasons I change things up so much is because I struggle with reading and dyslexia and stuff like that. But I do look forward to taking on more narrative based stuff or whatever you guys think suits it. But you did say something that caught my attention there, and maybe you want to confirm or deny that. But so this would be content that is meant to bring people to the subreddit, right? Because you talked about commissioning people. You talked about commissioning people when it came to the thumbnails, and you talked about commissioning people when it came to making content for it. But like, what is the revenue driver? If you guys think it can't just be something where you guys are just spending money on it to have a vanity project out here for talking tall tales. Like, what is the X factor when it comes to revenue and when you're talking about all the money that you're already talking about spending on it?
Well, that we're kind of still trying to like pin down. Like the subreddit itself is only loosely associated with the business since business is just kind of in the beginning phases and everything, which
Mm-hmm.
is fine. But like every bit of work that went into the subreddit, I'll be real, if I just paid out of pocket for it, like for the art and everything, and I'm okay with that. Like it's just another way I can give back to the community, but hopefully we'll, know more about the revenue thing for the actual Talking Tall Tales site once we get a little bit closer to it.
Oh, well, I hope with your IT background that you guys are able to take advantage of some kind of app. Because when I was, exploring stuff on Patreon, like a lot of people always talked about how easy the app was, and just having something that just like readily works on your phone seems to be the way the future is going, whether it be watching Subway Surfers while listening to a podcast like this, or having the being able to scroll the comments while listening to a fill on the Talking Tall Tales website or app, or the triple. What do you guys call it? The triple T.
Yep, T3.
T3, yes, the T3000. Let's go with that. Oh man, you know what? That one is free. You guys get the T3000 app out there. It already has a built-in audience. I don't know if it's going to be the same audience that wants ASMR roleplay in the same way, but definitely it's catchy.
It definitely is.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. It was a pleasure having you on here. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to spend some time here yelling at the people as I want to do on videos, and I get their live feedback when I yell at them. So it's a little bit more catharsis for me on this side. But thank you again for coming on the show, for agreeing to come onto the show, and even agreeing to come on after I'd been a bit of a jerk, saying, no, it's only for YouTubers and YouTube people who are cool, until I found out that like all the YouTube people I speak to are not nearly as cool as you. So that's why we are here today. That is why we say goodbye. Thank you very much. And you can tell the people farewell.
Well, thank you for having me, sir. I appreciate it. And everyone who attended, I also appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll see you around and hope you have a good night.
Thank you so much. How is everyone doing tonight? Let me get over here to our only chatting area. And I got to move my guy over here. You know what? Here's the thing I worry about is, doing the show, and I am infinitely grateful for everyone that shows up here for the show. Doing the show usually takes up the nighttime slot for when I stream. And I miss you guys. I miss talking to you guys at night. I get the European crowd during the day and it's all fun, but I do miss talking to you guys. I need to do more live streams, which means like basically they need to slot in like 3 more days into the week, and then I'd be able to do more. But one of the things I have been working on is a sleep aid series, where it's kind of like the same kind of games I would play. Shade, Sun, Moonlight, hello, how's it going? Soshi, hello, and Sensory VA Audios, thank you, along with Naylan, everyone else that stuck through here through the end. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the things I've been working on is a sleep aid series for members, and members could be you. Give me just a moment here. I'm going to gift out 5 now. Super chat, super checker. What? No. Come on, give it out memberships. Maybe I have to pop this out. Give me a moment. Pop out chat. Pop out chat. There we go. Memberships. Oh. And gifting out 5 memberships. Boom, boom. Enable that. Enable that. Congratulations to the 5 people that have now become members to the channel. It's peanut butter jelly time.
When you make it to the top, don't stop, keep going.
Ninas, Reina, Halo, Hypno, Lizzie, and Angel, congratulations on becoming members. You were gifted the membership just after we ended. So happy. I am happy too. It's dance time. So last time I checked up on this this audio that I was doing. Hold on here. That's popped out, right? Yeah.
When you make it to the top, don't stop, keep going.
All right, so this sleep aid that I worked on today has finally finished uploading. The thumbnail doesn't really matter. Sleep aid can go on, let's see here. It's just, the monetization is off, visibility, members only. Boom. And I just push that out. So if you are a member and you have notifications turned on, you might be notified that I just pushed out a new sleep aid. I will be doing these more often as I film them throughout the day. It's a great way for me to give back to y'all. And I want to be able to make it so that anyone can create a playlist of their own 8 hours to enjoy or longer as more of these come out, and they're just low-key, very much me rambling over some games and stuff. And I I hope you all enjoy. You don't have to check it out. It's just purely there for the members because I thought it was high time I do something for all the wonderful members on the channel. And I understand that most of them are the ones I gift out, but you know, I still miss doing that exclusive content. I missed when I did Patreon. I did regular postings of my outtakes, and that was always very fun. Listen to it when I go back to bed. Yes, it's currently it's like 90 minutes, but as it grows, it will be more that I can share. This is another Genshin Impact, me just running around and being my goofy self as I talk about Genshin Impact. But I want to do more night streams outside of just doing the podcast. You guys have been great showing up to the podcast. It has been so good to see that constant flow of chat, to see you guys talking about the guests, to see you guys asking cool questions. Haven't heard the peanut butter and jelly theme song in forever. That is an animation by one lovely Leslie the Newbie, who has done so much for the channel. Oh, coming up, we are now in the month of May. Coming up at the end of the month, I need to settle on a day because, as it turns out, this year some people actually want me to travel for my birthday, so I got to arrange the best time for that to not overlap with the channel's birthday celebration. Yes, Genshin Impact, your name /LN. What does LN stand for? It's right now for members only, but I do have over 2-hour long Genshin Impact sleep aid available on the channel. Just sort by, you can't sort by lowest views. I like joking about that, but it's on there. All right. You know what? I can find it here real quick and I'll just post it up as a link. Nope, that is channel content. How long ago was this? I was looking, it was like practically December of last year. Where are you, my guy? Here you are. Get a shareable link. Close that down. And there we go. That is the Genshin Impact sleep aid I put out last year. Love the little creatures with their names on the bottom. It's so freaking cute. Yes, it is. It is called Stream Avatars. And I have it set. It used to glitch out at 2 hours, but I took off the Twitch authorization. So hopefully it just works regularly now. Yeah. Genshin Impact is so. I've been. They have this new thing in Genshin Impact where they tell you basically like, oh, here's how you can make this character stronger, and instead of like going through 6 different menus, you can go through one and just bounce around the map. It's been a lot of fun. I've been kind of holding off on the story. I'm on the 4th chapter. I'm on Fontaine, and I think I just finished the Fontaine prologue. I don't know. Should I play more of the Fontaine story? Is the Fontaine story in Genshin Impact that good? I don't know off the top of my head. I can't say for certain. I have been playing it in Chinese because I just like the language. The language sounds nice. Is it wrong to say that it just kind of like rolls off the tongue? Like that the language that's been around for so long also feels like it's, minimized the effort to say the words. Yes, it is. Where's Star is saying that the story is worth it. I was playing Sumeru, right? And that one was pretty good. Let me move the chat box up out of the way here. Boop. There we go. Stopped playing Genshin ages ago. Naylin, don't be a quitter. I'm just teasing. Genshin's like my go-to comfort game. I played a bunch of Elden Ring in the last month or so, but I deleted that for Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't started that yet, but I am very excited. It's one of those things that's like very daunting. Everyone that I've seen who's played Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't play it for less than like 100 hours, and I want a 100-hour game, but I'm also playing Red Dead Redemption 2, which is also like a real banger, but the commitment for each mission sometimes feels like it takes so long. There you go. I haven't stopped playing Genshin Impact. It's your favorite game in the whole entire world. It is a great game. It's like one of those games that you can kind of play not only indefinitely, but like in lieu of a bunch of other things. I went through a bunch of the character story quests, and those had what were they? Like the individual like 6 different ending kind of quests. Red Dead Redemption 2 traumatizes you? Well, yeah, I understand. If you don't like animal violence, it would definitely traumatize a person because there is a lot of animal skinning. Red Dead Redemption 1, same kind of way, except there was like a way to move the camera that it kind of hid it from view. Yeah. Busy with Honkai Star Rail, yeah. I'm sad. I held off too long on getting the Honkai Star Rail sponsorship. They're no longer offering it. I think they were doing it just for a little while. But I'm not too worried about playing sponsored games right now. It would be fun to play another game at night, though. I think the last one I played was Little Nightmares 2, and that was a while ago. I played during the day this week. I played Ring Fit, and this room still kind of smells after that. It's idiot sandwich. It's not that bad of a smell, but you know, it's definitely one that lingers. I mean, I shower. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I just like playing around. Been playing a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley. Over 427 hours. Are you kidding me? That is incredible. I gotta find out what making... Is that like the Animal Crossing for Disney? My Genshin account expired. Expired? How does a Genshin account expire? He's not eating a sandwich. I think that's just one of the things Nayland likes to say. Be heading off now. Thanks so much. I'm glad to caught the stream. Thank you very much for dropping by, Star. We very much appreciate it. And it is almost my favorite time of night. My favorite time of night being, favorite time of day as well, where it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 12:34 is my favorite time of night. Probably bad because I should be asleep by that time. I have been streaming for a little while. What does it tell me over here? I always forget to set it up to record the video. It is almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours, and you guys have stuck with my craziness for this entire time. Thank you very much for everyone that came by. Count was like bread. You were at AR32? No! How could it expire? How? Okay. Mav, hi, how's it going? I have trouble believing it's possible for an account to expire. It's kind of like you also have to do helping your villagers with some tasks. Oh yeah. 7:30 over in France, 6:30 in the morning over in Europe. And I think it is time for all good boys and girls to get some sleep, which means I will stay up for another hour eating Rice Krispie Cocoa Puffs or whatever they are. And it's the Cocoa Rice Krispies. There we go. They're Flintstones. They're like weird Flintstone things. But they're Rice Krispies. It's an entire mood. That's my plan. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Again, thank you for coming out. I have enjoyed all of my time with y'all. I haven't picked a script for this weekend. Oh, I should probably do that. I should probably look at my back catalog here and then see what I can find. Something will be out this weekend. Hopefully 2 somethings will be out this weekend. I will figure it out tomorrow. That is tomorrow me's problem. And apparently tomorrow me is today. That is an issue I have to deal with now. Thank you all